All right, we're back. Episode 7 of the Three Dudes Podcast. I'm your host, Easton Bennett. This is also your host, Liam Owens. And this is also your host over here, Broden Wunderlich. And you know what? Good week for the boys.
Yeah.
We did stuff. We lived life.
Last week, we talked about keeping your soap on a rope and your pants up in prison.
We did we talk about that a lot, though? A little bit. We touched on it.
More or less.
This week,
Let me tell you about what we're doing this week. We're talking about, in case you can't see that sign right there, 60's.
60's. Why did
the
you throw
roaring 60s.
The roaring. We're talking about.
Why'd you throw an S in there?
I'm
The 60's. You
60's.
sound like you turned into the Grinch.
What's his name? The Sean Connery from
Yeah.
James Bond.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not familiar.
James Bond.
James.
Sean Connery.
James.
What is
But yeah, episode 7, we're going to be talking about the 60s. He jumped the gun a little bit there. As always, we start with the comments, but you guys can see it. It's right here, the 60s. Before we get into the 60s, going to touch on some episode 7 comments. And, we had one TikTok blow up this week. It's about, 55,000 views or something on TikTok.
Big
Which is
numbers.
crazy for us.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a
We
cool
appreciate
moment. Kind of a cool moment. Thank you to those 50,000 people that viewed that. But we got some comments there. We're not going to read them all because some of them were just bashing it. It was pretty much the TikTok was the crap story of me telling the $25 bet.
That got canceled.
Yeah, the pit boss big dicked him and said that bet doesn't count. And a lot of people said that's not a crazy crap story. And I said, you know what? We're from North Dakota. That's a crazy crap story.
Sorry, man.
So to lead off into that, I'd like to tell a crazier crap story. I've got 2 of them. So this crazy crap story, I am in Vegas with my dad. And actually, you know what? I'm going to skip that story because that one's not even that cool. But I'm going to tell the Hard 8 story. Broden, you weren't even there. Broden was in the hotel room. He's a little
Dead.
Doing okay?
No, he's a little dead from the pool.
I was highly intoxicated at
that.
2 p.m. and hung over violently at about 9 p.m.
9 p.m. of the same day. So Broden was absent, but we're down playing craps. And I had won $2,500 in this session of craps. And I have about $25 on the Hard 8. For those of you that don't know, the last story we talked about was the Hard 6 or the Hard 12. So 2 6s, boxcars. This one is 2 4s. So it'd be the Hard 8. And there's this Asian guy and his wife. His wife was probably 4'6", standing across from me. And I said, all right, right here, we need a Hard 8. What do we want? A little Hard 8? So I put 2 4s facing up on the dice, picked them up, looked at the guys like, we want a Hard 8. He rolls his sleeve up. On his arm is tattooed 2 dice with Hard 8 on it. And I said, no fucking way.
No.
I threw the dice. Bing, 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 bing. 4-4.
That's Hard 8.
44.
Hard 8.
That's
Hard
me.
8.
Wow.
I
You got your
started
cold
screaming.
cuts.
I turned around. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Harrah's, but there's a little hallway right behind the crap table we were playing at. I turned around. I jumped. I sucker punched the ceiling because I was so excited. And yeah, it was a good time. Then after that, we hit another point. I did a cartwheel, fell on the same wall, but it was pretty crazy. So that was like,
You did a cartwheel when we were in Vegas too.
oh yeah, that's all. Well, yeah, that's my
crazy.
place to do them. I turned into a gymnast when I entered Nevada.
It's like a perfect cartwhile. Like I would have Easton Bennett, no, Simone Biles.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was crazy. It was perfect.
Simone
form.
Bennett. But yeah, hit $25 on the Hard 8, so that was $250. It's pretty sweet, and I got to share it with my new Asian friend with the Hard 8 tattooed on his arm. It was fun.
I want to meet him.
You could have met him if you weren't dead in the hotel room. But
Had your chance.
Yeah,
wait, he'll be back. When
I
we're
wasn't
back,
the
he'll
one
be back.
force feeding me alcohol in the cabana.
I wasn't force feeding you.
I mean,
But
He had a
if you're in the
turkey
cabana-
baster. It was like a hamster with a dropper in that cabana, and I was the hamster and he was the dropper.
everyone at the pool literally was walking by. They're like,
Random
"Is your
people.
friend gonna be okay?"
Yeah.
He sat in the same position, head over his knees for an hour and a half, didn't move.
You sent me that Snapchat of him sitting there. This.
Yep, and I was like,
Well-
"Is this man all right?"
Well,
He wasn't at the time. But
Have
he,
you ever
He battled.
had a weekend with me?
Yeah,
I mean, you
honestly,
knew
though-
I was going to be all right.
Honestly, though, like it's not even a bad thing. Like a lot of people probably think, "Oh, bro, no, it was awesome" because he went balls to the wall
I was-
and then disappeared off the face of the earth.
Dude, I smacked a beach ball 50,000 feet. I'm not kidding
It
you.
was awesome. But that's a crap story. So maybe that one will blow up on TikTok too. But episode 7 comments. Ice-T Irony. I kind of like that nickname.
It's got some flow to it, huh?
It's not like Ice-T the rapper though. Just like iced tea, like the beverage. So it's probably, yeah, it's probably
what?
That's it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not a
I
rapper.
didn't know where I was going with that.
They're
but-
not quite a rapper. They're just a poet.
No, like
right now.
Ice T. Is that his name? No, it's Ice Cube.
No, Ice-T.
Ice.
He's an actor. Ice-T. He was in Law and Order.
All right. Well, let's pretend it's not. Yeah. I was thinking Ice Cube.
You guys not know who Ice-T is?
I do now that you're saying it and bringing it up, but
I was about to like look over at you guys and say,
I was definitely
who am I
thinking
talking to?
I was definitely thinking like Ice Cube from Ride Along, him and Kevin Hart. That
Good
movie.
guy.
Yeah.
Totally a good guy.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Ice-T irony. This is what convos with my friends in games used to be. I don't know what games are if they're talking about like athletic games,
Probably like
or
Xbox
maybe like
Live
video
Party
games.
Chat. That's what I think of when I hear that.
man.
But yeah, it kind of stemmed from that story. That's kind of
Which
Mine were probably like way more vulgar than that.
yeah. We try to keep this somewhat not PG because there's swearing and you don't want kids hearing it, but we keep it pretty viewable to the average adult. I would say.
moderate ourselves.
Maybe
Little.
a teenager here and there.
Yeah. But Xbox Live parties,
Oh, those were a lawless place, man.
Oh my god.
it was like the wild, wild west.
Back in prime Call of Duty. I mean, Modern Warfare 2. Oh,
Every insult
That was a different time. You heard some of the most unique insults ever. created there.
Every bird flew in that
Yep.
in that chat.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Man,
One?
All of them flew over the
Yeah.
cuckoo's nest.
that was a time I wish I could relive again for the first time. That was
Oh, absolutely.
I remember me and Broden's prime Xbox Live days. There was one guy that got really mad at me during Xbox. He had beat me, and I was like a little kid. So
Are you talking about that voice message you got
Yes,
in 8th
I-
grade?
I
I,
get it.
remember it. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
I get a voice message from a guy that's just been shitting on me the whole match, and it's him singing, and he's like, "You can get up on these nuts. You can get up on these nuts. You can smack them." And he just kept singing it over and over. And I'm like 13, right? So I'm like, this man,
was a grown man.
this is a 25 to 30-year-old man singing this to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if this guy knows I'm 13.
That's so funny.
And I wish I still had it saved. But yeah, that was probably the best insult I've ever gotten in an Xbox Live Party.
There's one that it makes me laugh every time I see it. I see it posted all the time of that one where it's that guy that was playing Madden and he messages him and he goes, "You suck at Madden, never play the game again." And this is a grown man and he replies to him and goes, "Sorry, I'm only 12."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, never mind. I didn't mean that. You know, you're good for your age." And he says, "My mom doesn't let me play the game because I'm so fat. She calls me fat boy."
Dude.
Out of nowhere.
Video games are they're like you said, they're a lawless place, man.
No, but you meet a lot of people. It's
There's
hilarious.
good people out there.
Interesting
that you meet.
characters. We'll have to do an episode on video games.
Honestly.
King 26 Smitty says, "Would you rather be cellmates with a serial killer or a rapist?" Talking about the prison episode. We're gonna say neither because that wouldn't be fun.
You can't.
What?
You have to choose now.
But why not a serial rapist?
Yeah.
Well,
Also horrible.
also yeah, if we're comparing the three,
Yeah.
I think it's just eyes closed, throw a dart at the wall at that point.
You're asking for a shit sandwich or a shit sandwich with mustard at that point.
It's
Yeah,
still
it's-
a shit sandwich.
Yeah. You see that white speck on that top of that dog shit? Well, that's dog shit too. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I had to choose, I'd probably go. It depends the mood of each of the characters. If the killer's dormant, I'd probably go him.
What is he, a volcano?
Yeah, but like he's like not really in the killing mood anymore. Like he had his fix.
He's in prison. He's at the peak of his killing mood. Are you
this
kidding
is his
me?
prime time now.
He is ready to stab you in the face with a rusty spoon. He's just itching.
How
for
big
a
is he
killer.
and what's his name?
We're gonna go
He's
same
sick.
build, same size for both of them.
Oh, like your clone.
We gotta
Yeah,
we have to neutralize this question. I mean,
Yeah,
we gotta
is
bring
it-
it down to its.
He's 6'2" and he's 215 pounds.
And is his name John?
His name's Bobby.
The killer or the rapist?
They're both.
He's a killer rapist.
I'm going rapist because I can't. That's my best chance of not dying, I'd say.
Well, you think? Because
I mean-
because you want to think about. You know what? Never mind. Let's not. Let's.
You know what?
You know what? Let's
Spill my beer all
Sounds
over
like
my
you're
face.
already thinking about it.
Well,
What are you thinking?
all right. I'll say it. Here's the thing. Now, a serial killer probably pretty good at killing. You'd imagine.
Yeah,
Serial rapist probably pretty good at raping.
I'd say
So,
yeah.
I think it's a lose-lose situation there.
It
Well, yeah,
boils
but
down.
what's-
Would you rather be dead or sodomized?
It's the lesser of two evils.
Bingo. So what are you
Well,
at here?
I'm wondering which
Benny, what do you
one
think?
you would have an easier time defending yourself against, because
Which one would you? Yeah. Which one would you rather go up against? Let's hear it. Come on. A rapist or a murderer?
I would think a rapist, but
I feel like it's pretty like easy.
a murderer,
question to answer.
dude, a serial killer.
Knows how to.
The serial rapist might not always be horny. A serial killer always wants to kill.
that's true. Okay, yeah, that raises a very fair
I
point.
bet
Yeah,
the
that
serial
makes sense.
rapist is pretty horny all
Probably.
the time.
There has to be a reason he's
That's
there.
why he's
Yeah.
a serial rapist.
He's not doing it once.
Yeah, it's a string of horniness. It's just
It's a
like,
This is a 1% horny guy. Like
Yeah.
they talk about the 1% wealthy. He's a 1% horny guy.
maybe top half. And he'll take your top
it's
half.
gonna be top half, all right.
Really bottom half too.
It's both halves, all three.
See, this is the part of the podcast where I don't even know if we're going to be able to post any of this, but we're talking about.
Yeah,
it.
we are.
We gotta find something.
Michael Drake 98. These videos are always entertaining. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, actually,
We do it for you, Mike.
It's we do it
Graduated.
for Mike. We do it for you, and these are fun to do. Whether we have 8 viewers or 850 viewers,
or 850,000.
shout out to Michael Drake.
which we should mention because I don't know how many people get to the end of these episodes, but leave a review and
Say something.
yeah. So, I mean,
At some
mainly
point-
we're trying to grow this thing so we can quit our jobs and talk about the things that we can't talk about currently.
Mhm.
But yeah, leave a review. Share it with your mother or your
Maybe.
grandma or your friend or your father.
Maybe not your grandma. I don't know how grandmas
Um,
take well to this.
Cherry pick the episode and share it with your grandma. Snake Jig says, "Are you again back to the prison episode? Are you suggesting to basically leave everyone in solitary?"
I'll run this one because I guess if that was my clip that I said.
Yep.
The bad ones, leave them in solitary. Yeah, I mean, guys that did some bad shit. Yeah,
Okay, but go further on that. What do you mean by the bad ones?
I mean, guys that murdered.
Just the murderers.
I mean,
it's only
like
14%.
murderer and like above, like
That's only 4 and above.
how do you get higher
mean, like
than that?
murder.
Like
Serial
then mass
murder.
murder and then genocide and then I mean,
yeah, like the Hitlers
yeah.
and Stalins of prison.
There's only 14% of people in solitary. Then
it's true too. I mean,
could be higher.
So like what?
Should
Like
be.
obviously, like you would probably say like rapists.
I'd say
maybe.
pedophiles
Yes.
could go
Yeah.
for a
There you
bit.
go. Yeah.
because I think a lot of those guys get handled in prison because
Yeah,
like
pedophiles get-
like we said in that podcast, it was like if
Natural
if
selection.
people show up to prison and they are rapists or like pedophiles,
And
they
Gen
get-
Pop finds out about it.
yeah, they get fucked. Not literally.
Physically and literally.
Well, probably too,
physically
yeah.
and emotionally.
Dude,
I'm not gonna lie, probably.
in every version of the word fucked, that happens to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he followed that comment. What did he say?
Yeah, he said
I put that in.
prison is twofold. One, it's for rehab, and then he also says it's for punishment. So
Yeah. I understand. And so I understand
I
that
think
too.
the rehab is for
Where-
like the people that are there for drugs, though. Like that's
Yes. You don't rehab from murder.
yeah. I'd be like, he's
Well,
a good
obviously,
guy.
like there's people that go into prison and they serve their time and they change.
He's
Yes.
a good guy. I went to school. He won't murder again, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
That was just a
there
slip
are
up.
there are people in prison that they turn it around. Yeah, because those are the percentage of people that realize, fuck, I gotta stop doing this.
But not the people with tattoos, probably.
No, that's why Japan said
What's so bad about tattoos?
If they're on your face, like under your eye with the teardrop,
Yeah,
Oh, so you don't like Mike
we know
Tyson?
we know what that means. If you don't know what that means, if you have a teardrop under your eye, it means you murdered someone.
so I don't think if you murder someone and then get that tattoo, I don't think you're being reformed.
No, probably not. I feel like that's something that you're proud of
Probably, yeah.
because you're talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't have any tattoos.
Showing,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not gonna get a tattoo at 60 that says I'm retired
No.
just because
I'm done killing.
I've collected my 401k.
Yeah, get to cash it in.
Yeah, that's all we got. The comments we got for the prison episode.
One last comment.
One last comment from our side of the couch.
Wyatt and Sierra Cook, as well as Michaela, said they brought us to Iceland and played us in a bar.
I think it's Iceland.
Iceland.
It's the Iceland.
But so is it Greenland or is it Greenland?
Greenland.
I think, they played us in like a bar, like a hotel or something like that.
Which we appreciate you bringing us overseas.
Yeah. And hello, Iceland. Iceland. I'm going to say Iceland.
For all
Because
the
Benny chirped me for it. So
all the Icelandics over there.
yeah, we love you guys.
Guten Tag.
That's not Icelandese.
Reykjavik, capital of Iceland. Yeah.
Where are you going? Oh, I thought you were going to pee. I was like, I'm going to have to kill you.
So soon?
Episode 7, the 60s. We're going to talk about the 60s and everything that happened in the 60s.
Roaring.
When I was doing this research, I found out there's a lot that happened in the 60s. So there might be a part 2. We'll see how much we get to here in the next hour. But we're going to start it off with
Hefty
you have
pour.
ice in there? Ice in that beer? No.
You ever
You
have
could've
beer in a
just-
frozen glass?
Yeah, you could have just drank it out of the can.
Do you have ice in there?
Like they wanted you
A
to.
few cubes, yeah. Cubics.
Ice in the beer, huh? Never tried it.
There's like 2 in there. And what am I going to do with it now that it's in the cup?
It's a weird.
Drink it out of the can.
Probably drown yourself
But I have
with
the
it
cup.
if you could.
Yeah, I get that. Oh my god.
Going over some rumble strips there, will you? Good grief.
But I'm
So we're talking about the
Bewildered.
60s.
We're talking, a lot of beer in the 60s. We're going to talk on Woodstock first. So there's 2 Woodstocks, actually. 1969, 1990 something. And we wanted to touch on this. Actually, the topic came from the new Woodstock documentary that came out on Netflix. Can you guys quit freaking playing pee-pee whackers over there? And
we're listening. I'm just
I know,
also
but
laughing.
the guy's making a foam tower on top of his cup of ice beer.
It's getting there. Look at that thing.
It's a nice head.
Okay,
some
back
of
to
that.
Woodstock. So Woodstock was a rock music festival at Max. Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
For those of you listening, Liam just shot foam all over the couch.
He took one sniff of the foam and it went
Ugh.
right back out the blower. Oof.
So Max Uger's 600-acre dairy farm in the town of Bethel, New York, from the 15th to the 18th of August in 1969. I wonder if that's where the song "The Summer of '69" stemmed from.
Bryan Adams.
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
or a really weird coincidence. Coincidence?
You were trying to hold back a yawn there.
No, I just messed it up. Because I was gonna say coinky dink, and then I said coincidence instead, and I was
You were not saying Kawinky Dink.
it's there now though. I said it to explain myself because Broden called me out.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Bryan Adams did not perform at Woodstock, actually.
He was probably like 8.
It might be the most famous rock concert and festival ever held. For many, it showed the counterculture of the 1960s and the hippie era.
Hippies, man.
Woodstock.
Peace and love, you know?
Peace and love. So apparently they just walk around and throw the
that
peace up.
Just
peace
high
sign
as jet planes.
I don't think they did. I think they did not too many drugs, but they did more drugs than their parents probably wanted them to there.
Yeah, there's definitely an allowable amount.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you're in the 60s, your parents are like, you're probably going to do some drugs, but, like, stay away from, like, those ones.
And then
the
they're like-
bad ones.
They're like, we're gonna do those ones,
And they were like,
and they never said what those ones were, but both parties knew what those
as
ones
Liam
were.
would say, like, we're going to do a smorgasbord of drugs.
I'm going to try them all.
Now, Liam's never actually said that, but in a previous episode, he said the word smorgasbord.
He
So
says
we're
it
not-
all the time.
So we're not gonna
love saying it.
we're not gonna lead the audience astray to every time we're out. Liam's like, all right, let's do a smorgasbord of drugs.
No.
No,
doesn't happen.
I just
Definitely
meant the word smorgasbord.
Yeah.
I love saying that. I think
So,
it's not only a hilarious word, but it's applicable to a lot of things.
It is because there's so many things that are smorgasbord sized.
Yeah, like a high variety.
What do you want to eat? A smorgasbord of Culver's.
Yeah, there you
Everything
go.
they got.
Like the whole menu,
Whatever they got. Yeah.
essentially.
Ooh, they're concrete mixtures.
How'd golf go today? I had a smorgasbord of shots. Under
I had a
trees, over trees,
smorgasbord
under
of
trees,
Missed ego putts.
sand, water, everything. So Woodstock was an opportunity for people to escape into music and spread a message of unity and peace.
I think that
So
was
yeah, when I picture like hippies, I think like everyone there was like Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
pretty
kind of.
close.
And they
Had to
should
be.
just like no, they had long skirts and
they were
no
wearing
underwear.
those shirts that have like the strings in the armpits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
They're like field cowboys.
Yep. What do they call those things?
Tassels.
Drug rugs.
Bolo ties.
Drug rugs. But what's the real name for them?
Sweatshirts made of rugs.
Yeah, but no.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Oh,
though.
this is gonna rack.
I
my
have one of
brain
those I
thinking
wear
about
at the
this.
I'm
fire.
just pissed that I can't think of it.
I know.
So let's talk about the lineup here. The lineup.
For Woodstock?
Yep, 3-day lineup. And when I was doing this research,
It's like the state fair.
I did the first 2 days, and until the end of the second day, I was like, I have no idea who any of these people are. So day one, it opened with Richie Havens. And fun fact about Richie Havens is Sweetwater was actually supposed to be the concert's first scheduled performer, but they were stuck in traffic. So the organizers scrambled to find a replacement, and they finally selected folk singer Richie Havens. So I don't even think he was supposed to be there. And then while Sweetwater's in traffic, they're calling around.
So
and he's like, yeah, I
like-
guess I'm just at a family lunch. I could come.
You don't like have it in the notes, but like how many people showed up to Woodstock?
Well, I think it was like 400,000.
Holy shit.
That's pretty.
In the original plan, they said it was going to be like 50,000. So whoever their analyst is, their person predicting things should have been guillotined, probably.
Yeah.
seems a little harsh.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
Well, he didn't commit any crimes. Maybe the percentage was off by a slight.
a slight, a hair
Yeah.
or a wig. You know, people say, it's off a hair.
It's off a C here.
That man was off a wig.
Yeah, only 300%. But
Yeah.
hey, you know,
Only.
People make mistakes. We're all human.
He was ballpark.
we get it.
He was not ballpark.
You know, he was at like, you know, a
You're talking
little
about a ballpark
sacrifice
in
bunt.
Minnesota.
And
These guys were in Colorado.
yeah,
Ugh.
he was at a sacrifice bunt and Buddy's hit a home run.
Yeah. Wasn't even close. So yeah, it was Richie Havens. Then Sweetwater eventually found their way through traffic, performed second. Traffic, that's crazy.
Sweetwater.
Who's the person planning this? How are you in traffic right when you're about to perform? Maybe get there a hair early.
Well, I think they were only planning for 50,000 people. So the person driving was like, not going to be that busy.
We'll give us like an hour to get
And
there.
then the next 350,000 people showed up and said, we're
Watch this.
screwed.
We're here first.
Watch this. But you think they'd be there before it started too? Who's showing up when the first act's supposed to go on? Late people.
Yeah,
All
Liam
of
is.
us.
right here.
Not me. I'm a 15 minutes early guy or you're late guy.
I'm good for my tea time. Yeah. But anything else? You tell me to be there at 7? I'll be there at 7.
What did you say earlier when our buddy was asking about, he sent that TikTok to us and you were like, I feel like a piece of shit if
Yeah.
I'm not there 15 minutes early for my tea time.
Oh, yeah, because you're there, because you are ready to tee off at that tee time. So
Yeah.
you should be on the little practice green next to the tee box, getting your chips in, getting your putts in, reading the greens for the day. Anything else? No.
Show and go golfers are the worst people on earth.
Yeah.
We have a good friend, Alex Shimke, that will show 12:36 tee time. We were golfing Saturday, and he showed up at 12:34, went and paid in a minute and a half, and was hitting his ball at 12:36. I'm like, I hate you a lot.
And then he smacked it 350 yards.
He did dead straight. He was 100 out.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he hits
on,
the shit out of the
And he
ball.
birdied it
Really?
too. Chipped up, putt in, birdie. I'm like, he's like,
You shim golf a little?
oh yeah. And he hits the ball so far. He has no distance control to save his life.
Yeah.
But he hits it.
His
pretty
max
well.
distance is up there.
Really?
He hit a 220 yard 7-iron.
I want to golf with this kid. Because I consider myself I don't want to say a bulky dude, but
Yeah.
I put some power behind it.
He snaps that 115-pound body around.
He is.
Which is
well, okay,
crazy,
well,
but-
how tall is he?
He is 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah. Plays a factor. Sure.
Yeah. He whips her. He whips that stick around.
It's like
Next
a pendulum.
2 weeks. We don't have a lot left of the season. 2 weeks. Let's go.
No, we can go
Me, you,
golfing for
Shim.
sure.
Yeah, please.
We can go a little 4-way action. So back to the lineup. There's so many people I got to even talk about. We don't have facts on all of them, but Sweetwater, Sri Swami, Sachidananda.
Okay, say that in
Sachidananda?
English and not Egyptian.
I think it might be an Egyptian singer. So
Oh my goodness.
Talking in hieroglyphics.
Sri Swami, Sach Idananda, Sachinananda,
Shiva Kamini Soba?
Kandakam Shiva, Bert Sommer, Ravi Shankar, Tim Harden.
James Harden.
Isn't Tim Harden a basketball player?
That's like
James
I just
Harden?
said, James Harden.
No, I know James Harden.
Could be relatives.
Tim Duncan and James Harden had a fever child, and now he's a singer.
Had a fever grandpa.
Yeah.
Melanie Safka, Arlo Guthrie. I think Guthrie is a funny name.
Now that you say
Guthrie.
You put your clothes away.
it. Dude, one of my favorite names of all time for no reason. And I just remember it from like playing like baseball as a kid.
Bartholomew.
And some parent just yells out, "Come on, Luther." Luther. Luther is one of my favorite names.
Clarence is up there for a good one. Joanne Baez. Joan. It's got to be Joan Baez. Definitely Joan Baez. People are going to rip me for that one. Joan Baez.
Say it both ways so you cover both bases.
That wrapped day one. Lineup day two. Quill. Country Joe McDonald. I like how he throws an adjective in front of his name because they like wouldn't know who he is.
Country
Like,
Joe.
Joe McDonald. They're like, who?
It's not just
You know,
Joe
Country.
McDonald.
You know, Country Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Country Joe.
Joe. Yeah. I know that guy.
Santana.
Oh,
John B. Sebastian. Keith
Fuck.
Hartley Band. The Incredible String Band.
what a name.
It
Is that
sound-
self-given?
Well, I'm sure they put a lot of.
Self-proclaimed.
They probably thought about that one for quite some time.
You can't just give yourself the name The Incredible String Band.
That almost comes
you
from.
can. If
You better be like tits.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
If you
The
show up to the
fucking-
national string band competition and you wipe the floor with everyone,
Go
I
ahead.
think you've earned them. I think you've earned saying, "Yeah, we're going to start."
Do you
calling
know
ourselves
this?
the
Did they show up to the
Incredible."
national competition?
I was
and wipe
born
the floor?
37 years after this, so no.
Okay, well then, how do you give yourself that name?
I think if you're named the Incredible String Band, you give it to. It's almost like God is like, hey, we need our band names today, and then they go around and like people are like, nitty gritty dirt band. And we're like, we're Queen, and then they're like, what are you guys? They're like, Incredible String Band.
and he's like,
and
yeah,
he's like,
love it.
Cool, sounds good.
All right, and then they move on. They're like, wow, pass
Dodge a
there,
bullet.
dodge a bullet there, and then they're like, we're at Woodstock. Canned Heat.
Canned Heat.
Canned Heat, that is
Going up
hilarious.
country.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
That's actually the first band when I was doing the research that I actually recognized was Canned Heat.
Canned Heat. Yeah. For those of you that played Skate 3, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Mountain, The Grateful Dead, and Rap Day 2 with Creedence Clearwater Revival.
The Grateful Dead. Funny story about the Grateful Dead. Liam might actually remember this. We worked with the guy at when we worked at Menards. It's regional. It's like a hardware store, lumber yard. But this guy named Dave from Virginia. You know who I'm talking about now? Or no?
Garden Center Dave.
Yeah.
Garden Center
not,
Dave.
Not Garden Center Dave. The other Dave. Hippie Dave.
Oh,
Yeah.
We can call him Woodstock Dave.
I forgot
No.
about Hippie
So,
Dave. That
This
guy
dude,
was a
he is from
cat.
Virginia, and he was a cat.
He
Yeah.
was a cat, man.
He would tell us stories because he like grew up in that kind of time. Like the 60s, 70s was when he was in his big party phase. And he was like, yeah, I used to follow around the Grateful Dead. Like, man, we used
You're
to,
a groupie.
yeah, basically. But he was a dude.
Groupie
you know.
Dave.
Groupie Dave. But we called him Hippie Dave.
Yeah, because his brain was mush.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Scramble Squad.
It's like
Hilarious.
CTE on another level, but
So
from
funny.
from various other things.
Not head injuries.
not physical injuries, self-induced.
Far from it.
And he would just be like, "Yeah, man, I used to follow the Grateful Dead around, and we dip our cigarettes in PCP and smoke the shit out of a pack."
That can't be safe.
and then one day he shows up for work, and then he's out of it, and he doesn't show up for like a week, and he gets a hold of our manager, and he just goes, "Yeah, I had a family reunion back home. Won't be back for a while. Never showed up again. Never heard from him again."
Did Hippie Dave live in a van?
Couldn't tell you.
Dude,
I mean, I'm not gonna be
lived under a
surprised.
bridge. I don't know,
Yeah,
but he was a
man.
gem of a dude.
So funny.
Stories like you wouldn't believe.
There was one day I was helping somebody and he came out of nowhere and he was yelling something and I was in the middle of helping someone. He popped around the corner and just started doing some weird stuff.
Dude,
and
that's-
it was hilarious. But
That's all that was on his menu was weird stuff.
oh yeah. Absolutely. That was a smorgasbord of weird stuff
There
for
you
that
go.
guy.
There it is. There it is.
It always comes full circle. Hippie Dave. I almost want to meet Hippie Dave.
Yeah, you do.
Going into lineup day 3, started the day off with the Who.
Nice.
Jefferson Airplane.
Good band.
See, I wonder how they come up with their names. It's got to be a smorgasbord hat filled with
There it is again.
Random
just
generator.
names. Yeah, they're
Google random generator.
like
Well, I
random
mean,
band
it's like
names.
the 60s, so like, how high can we get? Let's think of a name.
Mhm.
And we're all just toasted, sitting in a chair, just going, I
Toasted
love airplanes. And this guy goes,
Where's your first airplane?
he goes,
"Where's
I
the-"
love Thomas Jefferson. He goes, oh, Jefferson Airplane.
He's like, "Where's the first plane you ever flew on?" He's like, "Jefferson Airport." He's like, "Let's do the Jefferson airplanes. I think we could do."
Yeah.
Cool.
He's like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then it's sat there.
Perfect.
I'm just in the slot to think that is awesome.
Country Joe and the Fish.
Another Country Joe?
That's a ripoff of Country Joe McDonald, I think. Couple Country Joes, and that guy's last name is McDonald too. And he's like, Country Joe McDonald's taking, man. He's like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "I got a lot of fish in my house." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, like tanks of them
Yeah. Like,
in the
I
walls,
love,
on the shelves."
Like,
You could be Country Joe and the Fish. All right, let's ride with it.
he's the guy who came up with the Finding Nemo because he just loves fish.
Janice Joplin. There's a good one.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Is there a country music? Is there a music hall of fame?
What?
Gotta be.
You've never
Did you
heard
just
of
ask if there was a country music hall of fame?
No, I knew that, but is there just like a general music hall of fame?
No, there's like a rock and roll Hall of Fame.
It's
There's like
called
a
that.
country
The
music Hall of
General
Fame.
Music Hall of Fame.
I'm in the country music hall of fame. I'm in the general music hall of
But
fame.
I mean,
so-
if you don't know who Janice Joplin is, you're living with Patrick Starr under that rock.
Oh, 100%. You're probably living with Hippie Dave in that van.
No, Hippie Dave knows that. Trust me.
Sly and the Family Stone. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It's a good one. Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. Wow. Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. What a
That's
name.
got to be like 4 last names of.
No one could put their pride away.
Yeah.
They're like, "Hey, we'll just be like
We're gonna be-
the Nashes." He's like,
We're going to be Nash and Friends.
Nope.
You can suck it.
Dirty Nash and Friends.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
Paul Butterfield Blues Band. Shanana. And Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Ended-
That's a
ended
Hall of
with a
Famer. That's
huge
probably
one.
that was a day 2?
Okay, that's day 3. That's yeah.
Day 3, Jimmy. That's crazy to think about.
Now you say Jimi Hendrix is a huge one, right? You want to
Yeah.
hear the crazy story about Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock?
Nobody showed up.
Pretty much no one saw it.
Yep. I
Because
remember that.
he
was
said in his contract he was one of the only people that got paid or something like that, $200K. And
So much money. back then.
200K?
in today's money, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So $200K. And he, in his contract, he said nobody could go on after him. And the lineup and scheduling for all these people to go out on stage got so ridiculous and just so off the rails that he would just walk around the festival grounds and just wait for his set. And eventually they put him on stage at Monday morning at 9 a.m. And he was supposed to be Sunday night. And pretty much all the festival goers had already left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody either that or they were sleeping off the fucking LSD.
That's probably true. They went to bed literally an hour before his set.
I mean, hindsight being 2020, as somebody being at Woodstock that showed to the Jimi Hendrix, what the hell are you doing?
Honestly. But like,
Going back to work, apparently.
I don't think
those
people at
people-
Woodstock worked.
No.
They had to do something.
Yeah, drugs. All of them.
Yeah, that does not correlate very well with going to work.
They're like, "We're doing stuff. It's not work, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid to do
I'm
anything."
putting in work, but it's not like for money.
No. They lived off the land. Bunch of Ted Kaczynskis out there in
There you
Woodstock.
go.
Bunch of mountain men and women. So here's some facts about Woodstock. The festival took place actually 70 miles away from Woodstock in Bethel, New York. I didn't even know Woodstock was a town.
I remember that
Me
faintly.
either.
But
I don't
no
know.
one's going to be like, "Oh, are you going to the Bethel Festival later?" No.
Woodstock sounds so
Woodstock.
cool.
Woodstock.
Well, it sounds
It
cool now
sounds
that it
great.
happened. But if I think it was a crash and burn, probably people probably not even talk about it.
People didn't even talk about it.
Talk about Woodstock.
Dude.
No, they wouldn't talk about it if it just sucked.
Oh,
Woodstock wouldn't
yeah.
even be cool. the name.
yeah.
The name.
I
Like
mean,
the city
usually
would
if
be
something
it was
sucks, you just don't remember it. But
Yeah.
It's true. We're gonna skip that part. That's pretty boring. After I just reread that, the music nearly came to a halt on Saturday night. Hours into the festival, Woodstock's organizers were hemorrhaging money. The sheer number of attendees and the logistics of collecting money and tickets at the gates had forced them to abandon the idea of for-pay concert and instead let everyone in for free. Did you know that?
Really?
Talk about
No wonder why there were so many people.
Saturday night.
no wonder why
getting
they
it
had
for free.
so much more money to buy drugs. They're like, we didn't have to buy tickets to this.
Sweet.
Yeah, we saved our $3.50 to
I'm
get
gonna buy
in
a
here.
bag of
Oh yeah,
dead grass.
Cost
now.
them $3.1 million to put this on, and they made 1.8.
They lost.
Lost money. It took them till 1980 to pay back the people that were
you're telling me
funding
the
it.
biggest music festival of all time lost $2 million?
Yeah, and right before you said that, I told you they didn't charge anyone to go. So
But
yeah.
still,
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, but like,
The biggest music festival ever was free, and they didn't make money.
You're crazy.
it was free for one night.
Do we know if that's
saw.
true? Is that the biggest music festival in history?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, they say of all time.
How many people
Maybe the
were
most
at,
notorious, but
I don't know about attendance wise, but
what was
like what's Coachella and Burning Man and all those.
that concert? No, that's too recent. I'm talking about like when Queen was that.
Oh, Live Aid, but that's not a music festival. That was a charity
Never mind that.
at Wembley Stadium. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so. Whatever the
there's-
documentary said.
Yeah.
it's got to be it. That's the
Yeah.
one everybody knows.
And they're like, hey, yo.
Hey,
Yep. Glad you guys
Good
ripped that.
rip.
That was nice. Jimi Hendrix headliner. We talked about that. Martin Scorsese cut a Woodstock documentary, and actually they sold the rights to Warner Brothers.
Martin Scorsese.
Yep, right there. Wolf of Wall Street on the wall. Martin Scorsese, pretty much they sold the rights to Warner Brothers, so he made like no money on it. But it's like literally one of the most famous or the most profitable movies of all time. Apparently. Allegedly.
So they say.
So Martin says, yeah. There were 3 deaths at Woodstock, but no confirmed births. 2 drug overdoses, and 1 kid got ran
A
over.
lot of conceptions, though. A lot
Yeah,
of conceptions at
9
Woodstock.
months from Woodstock.
I'll get there. 2 drug overdoses, and well, I don't know about the conceptions, but
Yes.
2 drug overdoses, and 1 kid got ran over by a tractor that was collecting debris. You think he's just laying there, and the guy thought
He
he
just
was
passed
like,
out off drugs.
Yeah,
100%.
and he thought it was a garbage bag.
He's like, that guy's already dead. I'm just gonna pick it up so nobody gets in trouble.
I'm gonna make sure he's dead.
Good grief.
Yeah, they say he died from the tractor, but really he was dead hours before that.
I guess we don't know.
We can't ask him either. That's the crazy part. So apparently there was a lot of people say that a lot of people gave birth at Woodstock. Nothing was ever confirmed, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a lot of consensual sex being had in Bethel, New York in 1969 at that festival.
Say that's a pretty safe bet. Yeah.
If I'm a betting man, always bet the over.
Well, good for them.
I wish we could look into the stats of like 9 to like anywhere from 7 to 8 or like 10 months after Woodstock.
No, you don't want to, because the stat man that was at Woodstock we discussed was
Yeah.
horrible at his job.
But like, how many people were born
It's like 50K.
7 to like 10 months after Woodstock?
It's like 7 people were born.
That's why
And
the
700
baby
plus.
boomers are a thing.
Yeah. Let's get into the space race.
I dressed for the
This guy could
occasion.
not have came more prepared.
I dressed for the occasion. I was so excited to talk about the space race.
Broden's ripping the NASA sweater. So the space race was from 1955 to 1975, and we're going to talk smack dab in the middle of it, 1960. So for those of you people that were born a few years ago, the 20th century competition between 2 Cold War rivals, the Soviet Union and the United States, to achieve superior spaceflight capability. So pretty much it was a pissing contest of who could get to space first, the Russians or the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Yours truly. I didn't go, but my people did.
A lot of people's did.
12, actually. Only 12 people did. Both nations wanted to prove they had the best technology and ideology. The first man-made object to enter Earth's orbit in 1957, which is a hair before our topic, is from the Wow, that's crazy.
Cousin.
Kick the table.
He's either messy.
What do you think it was called?
What?
The thing
object
that was in
that
the
went
air?
in?
Yeah, from the US.
Prima nocta.
Actually, I don't even know if it was the United States. I think it
Pretty sure.
Sputnik.
Dang it, man.
I
It's
knew
the
that.
Russian word for traveler. So I like to think, which I don't know the facts on this because I totally passed over it, but I like to think it's an American thing. And then they named it Sputnik as kind of like a up yours. We're in the air and we'll use your words.
That would
Probably not.
You think it's a Russian?
just a double fist in the ass right there.
Yeah. Because like we're not going to throw a ship up in the sky and then be like, what's his name? Traveler.
Yeah.
Because it's not nearly as cool as Sputnik, you know? Sputnik sounds like a name for a dog, like something you can name something Sputnik.
Well, didn't Russia send a dog to space?
It did.
Like before anything?
His name is Sputnik.
Shut up.
It was Balto.
Was it?
No.
Oh, I was. See, you could have told me.
I'm like, wow, you could have
Because
sold them.
I
Because
could
I
have
have no
sold
idea.
all of you guys on that and just got ripped in the comments after
Yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The U.S. Army actually built the first American satellite in 1958, and NASA wasn't formed until a year later. I didn't know NASA wasn't a thing until...
Did you know that
1959.
NASA originally was started to explore the ocean before space?
We talked about that on the ocean episode. I
I was
think
always going to rip you for that, but in the event that somebody didn't watch the last episode,
it's true.
I guess it's fair to say it again.
Yeah, you almost got a big "you're an idiot" bomb from Liam.
Just about. But
Huge.
I don't know. You did.
That's all right, though. President John F. Kennedy, we'll get to him later. Didn't end well for him. Further ignited the space race in 1961, saying, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before the decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. Wouldn't it be crazy if he said that quote and he's just like, we just want to get a guy to the moon. If he returns safe and we don't really give a shit. Got to get him there. He can find his own way back.
I don't know if you could find your own way back. I'm sure you
You can see where you're going.
You see where you're going. You got a little ways to go.
It's two brothers and they're like, all right, we made it. Where do we got to go now? He's like, points at the earth.
All the way back over there.
That big blue
Right there.
ball.
He's like, how do we get there? He's like, John didn't tell us. John said, we are on our own. If we want to live here, we can, or we can head back home and get medals and stuff.
Yeah, imagine that coming back and it's like,
They
you
forget
did
about you.
all this. Yeah.
It's been too long. They're like, moon landing? That was a year ago.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get from the moon to the... Wow. Liam's got to go
Yeah.
piss.
Dude. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We'll pause.
I got a kitten bladder, man. I'm sorry.
A little urine.
My fault. Sorry. Sorry, everyone watching, listening.
All right, we're back. Liam's done pissing. I can't remember what we're talking about, but yeah, John...
Talking about getting people to the moon and trying to find their way back somehow.
Yeah. Just get your own way back. Top secret. So from 1960 to 1972, in a reconnaissance project code named Corona, the United States routinely photographed the Soviet Union from space.
A little
So it's
big
kinda
brother
like-
action.
It was like OnlyFans, but for like countries.
But there's like not boobies.
Yeah. It's kind of the
They
point.
are. There's a lot. You're getting all of them in one photo, but they're just so small.
It's okay.
They might be big, but it's from so far out.
Oof. Hey,
Depends what you're comparing it to, you know?
Yeah, well, you
I got
comparing a set of boobs to the Earth? Yeah.
there's no problem with small boobs.
I saw a thing that said the
Oh, yeah.
Earth.
Big,
small
little,
boobs.
love them all.
Personally, myself, yeah. I'm
I saw-
not gonna lie to you.
I saw a thing that said the Earth is Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think, and he said if the Earth was shrunken down into the size of a cue ball, it would be perfectly round.
Yeah,
Smooth.
you could if a
Smooth, yeah.
giant
You wouldn't be able to feel anything.
rubbed his finger over the Earth, it would feel like a cue ball because the bottom of the Mariana Trench, our deepest point, is like
Listen to the ocean episode.
so. Yeah, I was right there. It's like
11 miles. The distance from the Marianas Trench to the top of Mount
Yeah.
Everest. There you go.
like
And when you shrink that down into the size of a groove, it'd be like the size of a piece of hair, I think. The width of a human hair, I think they said.
that's crazy.
Which would be crazy. I want to meet a giant that could rub it up for us so we could actually
Wait a second. What are you talking about here?
You guys took this so such a wrong.
How
Rub up
did
the
you
earth.
think we were going to take
Yeah.
it? A giant
You
that
want-
could
I
rub
want-
us up.
I want to meet a giant.
Rub it up for us.
That's
There's
there
plenty.
you go.
There's plenty of
That's even-
6,
I said
7
rub it
women.
up.
Rub it up for us.
Yeah, the Earth with his thumb.
Okay, never mind.
With this,
Get your guys' head out of the gutter for good Lord.
What?
you should have known where that was gonna go.
If
when
you're
you
gonna
said
phrase it like that,
I was testing you guys to see if you've grown up and you haven't.
not a chance. Never.
That's
Because
all right.
that's one of my favorite quotes is that growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. I'm gonna be young at heart forever. I'm gonna be a weird old guy. I cannot wait.
You're
I'm
a
gonna
weird 25-year-old guy.
We're gonna
I'm
clip.
already there.
Hey, we're gonna clip that. I'm gonna be a weird old guy.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna be walking through the grocery store and I'm gonna start throwing singles of cheese around. And they can't stop me because I'm old. I got
And yeah, you're probably
talent.
gonna be wearing like high white socks to like the middle of your shin, but they're like not name brand.
Yep. I'm gonna shit myself. Just cause.
I don't know if you need to throw that one in there. I'm gonna wear adult diapers.
Maybe not that far.
Screw it in there.
At some point I might. Happens.
We all get there, I think.
Yeah. Some of us have
You
small
quicker.
bladders.
Yeah, you quicker. What else do we want to talk about on the moon? Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men on the moon in 1969. Since then, 10 American men have also performed spacewalks. However, no one has returned to the moon in 1972. Spacewalks. They make it sound like a
One-
dance move.
Like moonwalk?
Small step for man
Yeah.
and one giant leap
And one
for
space
mankind.
one spacewalk for the next 10. That's what he should have said.
More of a
I didn't
bounce.
realize that there was that many people.
I don't get it though. Like we're in 1969 and we send guys to the moon, and now with our technology, we haven't sent anybody back.
Well, they say why? Why do we need to?
For what? We've discovered so much of this big.
They
rock.
were there for like not very long.
Couple days, like a weekend family trip. You want to go to the moon?
Yeah, but like, I mean, then take our technology with us and then go on the moon. How much more could we learn?
Well, what technology would take? Like the blockchain? Would we take up there?
No, I want you to take the fucking wheel up there, pal. Look
Look what we got. Look what we got.
They're spinning it around.
I'm sure there's a
up
lot of wheels that get us there, though. I think we had wheels were around in 1969.
Do you
Well, I mean-
not get what I'm saying though?
I get what you're saying, but it's a comedy podcast, so it'd be crazy if we said jokes on it.
there. Yeah, weird. I mean, at this point, do we don't need to send people there anymore because we have rovers. We have everything that could give us what we need.
So we should start sending animals.
They did that. They sent a dog there and he brought
He
us
didn't go to the
nothing.
moon.
No, not at
Well,
the moon. Not to
yeah,
the
you didn't
moon,
bring
but we
us
put him in
anything.
space.
How's he supposed to grab anything from there?
Exactly. That's why
his mouth.
That's why they said
My
we
dog
shouldn't have
picks up
sent a
stuff
dog. He
with
can't
his
pick
mouth.
up anything.
You just have it there and like, you didn't think about
Shit.
this.
He finds his stick.
Speaking of not thinking of anything about being in space, I believe I have no idea. I'm completely going off the cuff here, but the first time they were in space and they sent up an astronaut with like a pen
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work because there's no gravity. So
the ink.
the ink couldn't come out of the end of the pen, and so I think the United States spent a lot of money. Nathan, look this up. Spent a lot of money trying to develop a pen that could write in space, and the Russians used a pencil.
That makes a lot of
So
sense.
so we kind of
shit.
I think we kind of
If
got
that's true.
checked. I think we got checked there pretty hard.
That they almost out space race us just in that one fact. I think but back to the dog thing, I think if you put like one of my shoes there, that dog would find it and bring it back. Because they seem to find my shoes all around the house and fucking run around with them.
Dogs?
My dogs.
Dude, dogs will find
mean
anything.
You have
Dude,
one dog.
put something.
3.
You have 3?
My parents have 3 dogs.
Oh, I didn't know.
But yeah, if you like put that or like the sole of my
Whatever you-
shoe or like,
Yeah, whatever you don't want them to find, throw it up there and they'll find it.
yeah, just a little something like at a distance, they have to kind of jump to grab it.
Like put some buns on top of a table. My dogs love buns on
If
top
we-
of a table.
if
They
we-
love it.
If we sent a team,
We have like 4 bags of buns on our table right now.
I know. It's dude, it's a
You're freaking me out.
Yeah.
if we sent a team of humans to the moon, put a 48-inch table with a bunch of buns on it, sent them back, then sent a bunch of dogs there, I bet they could retrieve them.
oh yeah, my
me ask you
dogs
this.
won't retrieve them. They'll eat them.
How would they?
Plastic and all.
They're wearing space helmets. How are they going to grab
God, I didn't even think about
it?
that.
It's on Richie. How are they going to grab it?
I didn't even think that dogs have to wear spacesuits too.
Please tell tell me you're kidding.
I'm not
They
kidding.
don't
at
breathe
all.
the same air that we do. They don't even need it.
I didn't even cross my mind that spacesuits were a thing. Didn't even not even for a
Have you
second.
never seen an astronaut?
I am, but I have. But I just didn't think it's one of those things that you just don't think about. You just think I'm going to grab these buns off the table because you're putting them in the same scenarios. Like
You've gotten so familiar with it that it just,
it's just like
Nathan, go ahead.
when I pictured dogs on the moon, I didn't even think about them being
In little astronaut suits.
not even a little bit. That's so much
dogs
funnier
should
to
not.
visualize.
Well, dog should not action. What do you got, Nathan?
Okay, so from
Wow, that was crazy.
A little bit more.
from reading this, the story that NASA spent $1 million to try to make a space pen is a myth, but they did know that pens did not work in space, and some other guy, Paul C. Fisher, and his company, the Fisher Pen Company, they invested $1 million to create what is now known as a space pen. So it wasn't actually NASA, it was some other guy. Who,
I feel like NASA paid him off to be like, change that fucking story right now. We're not that dumb.
So
That-
what,
there's a
honestly,
chance.
what was the end product?
a pencil.
Yeah.
I mean, a pen that could write in space.
Number 3 pencil.
But they couldn't bring actual pencils
Not
on
a
there
Ticonderoga.
because they were sharp and they could, like, you're floating around in space, everything's a weapon. So
Everything's a
could-
weapon here.
It's not like I'm going into a concert venue and be like, any
Well,
weapons on you? I got a
John-
fucking sharp pencil. I just sharpened it in my
They
car.
were
And that
flammable.
pencils are flammable?
What?
yeah, they're wood. Wooden pencils are
Pencils
flammable.
are-
Yeah, if you light
flammable.
them on fire, you can't light fires in space. There's no
You have
oxygen.
to think about these things when you're in space.
There's
I
no
don't.
oxygen in space. You can't light fires
In the
How are
in
the
ship
astronauts up there?
is.
There's no.
How are the astronauts up there
in the thing.
where
It's-
there is oxygen?
There's oxygen inside.
Yeah.
He's saying that
But
he's
they're
not
not-
starting a fire on the moon's surface.
But
He's
they're
starting
not,
it in the
they're
ship.
not sitting there in what's the thing called?
The shuttle?
Sure. They're not sitting there in the shuttle with a handful of pencils going Fuck, right, just trying to light one on fire.
No,
but when
why
you're
would you do
spending-
that? Why don't you just bring a lighter?
Exactly.
I'm not going to be a caveman if I'm starting a fire. I'm not rubbing it in my hands like that. I'm barbecue lighter.
I'm not saying they were trying to start fires with them, but like when you're
Could've.
spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to fly somebody to the moon
Yeah.
of taxpayers' money, you do have to think of keeping them alive.
That's kind of the number one goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pens
I
are
was talking
flammable.
about it. I've never been sitting in class through grades 1 through 12 and writing with my pencil thinking, what if this is on fire?
What about
There's always a
kindergarten, though?
chance it could. I should start wearing diapers all the time. There's always a chance I just shit myself in the
don't-
middle of the day.
I think if you're not shitting yourself
more worried about-
once a month, you're not taking enough risks.
Not
I'm
holding
more
it long
worried
enough.
about I'm more worried about shitting myself than I am about random fires. I'll be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I run into the situation of shitting myself way more than I do pencils starting on fire.
Or anything.
Or anything really, yeah. I gotta go. Oh gosh, where are we even at?
We
But
were
yeah,
just-
pencils in space.
We were
Not
just
great.
at something.
Maybe they should have brought like a feather with a bowl of ink.
That's
Quill?
Yeah, like the band at Woodstock. Is that the noise a quill and feather makes? God
I
knows.
just love that noise.
Apollo 11 effectively proved the U.S. victory in the space race to demonstrate space flight superiority. The one forgotten astronaut, Michael Collins. He never set foot on the lunar surface, like his crewmates Aldrin and Armstrong, who died in 2012. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that. None of the men flew in space after the Apollo 11 mission. I guess, yeah, what do you do, though? After you do that, you're like, whatever, I'm done. I retire. What else can I do? You're not going to put me on Jupiter.
I went to the moon. I have conquered life.
Their life probably sucked after that. They had nothing to live for.
I don't want to say that. There's
But the-
so much to live for.
You know,
But no,
I
I'm
get
saying
what
like
he's
they
saying.
peaked. Like there's not what bigger accomplishment are you going to have?
I went to the damn
Since starting a
moon.
family.
Like a lot of the time, they probably had a family at the time, but even
Well,
that,
yeah,
if you
but-
have a family, is that going to trump walking on the fucking moon?
I would hope so.
Depends on how much
I
it
would,
matters to you.
I would hope so.
There's
Do you love your wife and kids?
You know how easy it is to make a child?
Man.
You know how easy it is to make a child compared to how easy it isn't
No.
to be on the moon?
It's a coin flip. Some people have an easy time making kids. Some people don't.
We're not even
Maybe-
talking about. We're talking
maybe
about
it's not
starting a
cocaine,
family.
maybe it's
I
not
could start a
cocaine.
family tomorrow.
You don't know that.
I know that. I could walk into a
you
store.
Could, yeah, you could adopt.
Yeah, that's a family.
Walk
Let's
into a
not say it's-
store.
okay, not a
Walk into a
store.
store.
No. I'm saying walk into a store. Well, I would need a female counterpart to start this family with. I'm not doing it by myself. So I could walk in and be like, hey, the quality of person I might get might be lower, but I could find someone that wants to start a family.
I thought you meant just walk into a store and boom, I got a kid.
No,
I'm just
I'm
gonna
not
go
buying-
buy a
I'm not
kid
gonna-
from Walmart.
I mean,
We're going to the kids section. They got diapers and infants. Here we
and
go.
real kids, actually. It's a package deal. You get a kid, you get a free outfit.
It's like they're fish tanks. You just walk in incubators with kids.
Put them in a bag, drag them around.
You guys
All
are
right.
sick.
Like, how much does that one weigh? They put on the scale because you pay
It's
for them
per
like
pound.
you pay for them like you do apples. I
This
guess.
kid,
Or what do you
this
pay
kid's
for in pounds?
$24.49 per pound.
Bananas usually.
Okay, yeah.
Produce.
Yeah.
That's why I always bring my own scale to the store in case I ever have to buy a child. I don't want to pay too much, All right, so let's get into the Cuban Missile Crisis.
We're talking about.
Yes.
Is that
Yep.
who is that guy? That picture?
Free to call.
Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
Free to
The
call.
Cuban Missile.
Cuban Missile.
He said pitcher, not painter.
Yeah. The guy that got his ear cut off, Picasso.
Ah, Van
No.
Gogh.
That's Van Gogh.
Michelangelo.
Da Vinci.
Ooh, Raphael. Donatello.
Or just naming turtles, yeah. So the Cuban Missile Crisis was a direct and dangerous confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War, and was the moment when the two superpowers came closest to nuclear conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So we almost all died.
Could have been.
Not me. I was not alive.
Yeah.
13-day political and military standoff in 1962 over the installation of nuclear-armed Soviet missiles on Cuba, just 90 miles on the U.S. shores. So Russia's like, fuck it, we're gonna get close. We're gonna get them in there.
Russia went like that, whipped it out.
You know what that is? The actual term for that?
That?
No.
Oh,
That's big dicking right there.
Yeah, that's what they did.
what's
They
the
big
term
dicked it.
for it?
Brinkmanship.
Elaborate.
Brinkmanship is basically coming to the brink of war, like flexing your powers and how much you can have.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why that was one of the few things I chose to remember from high school, but
Chose to remember. Oh, I think it was Daryl Brinkman started the first war.
I think the things that you could remember from high school, I could write down on one sheet of college rule paper.
college ruled. He's not.
you could probably double space.
Yeah, I was
that
just gonna
sheet
say
too
he's
if you
double
wanted
spacing
to.
his
Yeah.
writing too.
In big font.
Just size 28 font.
Yeah, you could capitalize every letter because there is a handful of things I remember from high
He's
school.
improperly indenting too.
Yeah.
It's so far in.
Yeah,
All right.
Brinkmanship. Yeah.
That makes sense though.
90 miles.
Yeah.
That's not very far, pal.
The American U-2 spy plane secretly photographed nuclear missile sites being built by the Soviet
Nuclear.
Union. On
Please say nuclear.
what did I
You're
say?
nuclear.
Nuclear. What's the difference?
You said nuclear. That's just not even a word.
That's like you're saying to put the U in front of the L.
It's just nuclear.
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 Yeah.
There's no extra U in there. We didn't buy that fucking vowel.
I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah.
I think I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
Stop.
I'm
No,
glad.
I'm serious.
He's having his own little come to Jesus moment.
I am.
Oh my God. I've been
Nuclear.
doing it wrong. Did you ever watch
Dude,
the,
he's looking like
Drop a nuclear bomb on
nuclear. He did it again.
do you have
Nuclear.
HBO Max?
nuclear. I got everything. Jailbroke. Broken shit.
You watch
Watch
the
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl documentary?
Oh my gosh. We're gonna talk about I'm getting deja vu now. Did I say that right?
Dejava?
Deja I'm getting deja right now.
You
That's
ever
I think
bet-
that's a drink you get at Caribou
Who's your favorite?
Coffee.
Java?
Who's your favorite Uber driver?
I've never been to
I
a
never
Java.
Whoever.
Um
You know when you get hit in the face with a lot of stuff? It's like Debris.
Debris.
My favorite.
Just like I said last time, emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I think that the Americans have a problem with taking pictures of the Soviets from the sky.
I think that goes probably both ways, every way around the world.
We got Do
no,
you?
no.
Oh, that'd be insane.
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna push you back into your corner, you little dunce cap.
Jim, if you're gonna talk, you gotta talk into the mic. nuclear missile sites being
it.
built by Soviet Union in the island of Cuba. President Kennedy did not want the Soviet Union and Cuba to know that he had discovered the missiles. Obviously not. He's not going to text and be like, I know you got missiles.
I know what you did last Halloween.
Let me touch on this real quick. Actually,
Okay.
I got a wild story real quick. So
You know how pissed off I am that you're pouring your beer into that plastic cup?
I couldn't care less about what you think about how I pour my beer into my cup because it's my cup and my beer. Actually, it's your beer.
It's actually my beer and my
Thank you.
cup.
Thank you. Thank you for both.
That's a tough
Anyways,
argument.
yeah, anyways, continue.
Sorry, I had to hit you real quick.
It's our beer.
So one of my journeymen, he's getting his pilot's license right now. He got his pilot's license. He bought a plane. Cool.
So he's pretty rich.
Well off.
Is
I
it?
mean, well, he's saved a lot of money. So he came from poverty. He grew up on food stamps and everything like that. And so he pinches a lot of pennies. And so that's one of his things. He wanted to buy a plane. He wanted to get his pilot's license, and that's what he chose to do. And apparently there was this guy that was going through, and he wanted to go up in the plane, wanted to fly around, take a test flight, not with him, but through one of his instructors there at the Air Force Base, or not the Air Force Base, at the airport. And he goes, "Hey, do you mind if we,
When does this story get good?
pretty soon,
Okay.
pretty soon, I'm sorry,
Continue.
I'm stretching
You are
it out.
pulling her.
I'm sorry, I'm stretching her out
All
here
right.
because I'm thinking about this cruise light here."
Okay.
And he goes, "You mind if he's at the airport. You mind if we fly over the Air Force Base?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Can we do a low fly over?" Turns out this guy was actually I don't know if I should be saying this on the pod, but he was a Russian spy.
Holy
He was a
fuck.
Russian spy.
You weren't kidding about the story
No,
getting good.
I'm dead serious. He's a Russian spy trying to do a low fly over the Air Force Base and gain information.
And did Buddy say, "Yeah, I can't do that"?
They found out because I mean, if you request to do that, I mean, you kind of get put on a watch list
Yeah, you're kind of like,
for
eh.
obvious reason. And so they said, or he told me that, yeah, like the CIA came in and they actually,
This is in Minot.
yes,
Wow.
yeah, made Minot like one of the biggest.
Well, yeah, we got a pretty big Air Force base, which if there's any Russians
Well,
listening,
we
don't
all
have
of the
anything here.
bombs.
Yeah, and we don't have any nuclear missiles or nothing.
Yeah, we
Nothing.
don't have anything. Yeah,
We got a couple planes and shit, like maybe like a helicopter here and there.
yeah.
That's kind of crazy, though. I mean,
That's a wild story.
No, yeah, that's.
did the guy
No,
tell
he told me that.
when he said, "Hey, can we do a low flyer?" Did he look at him and say, "Are you a spy?" Because you have to tell me if you are.
You have to tell me.
You have to tell me if you're.
No, I imagine not, but I think they flagged him, of course, and then they ran a check and they go, yeah, this guy.
Now he's on a list.
No, now he's
not
in
anymore.
prison.
Not anymore. He's not on the list, but he's
But
He's
probably
detained.
His friend is on a list.
He's in Guantanamo
who's his
Bay.
friend.
The friend that wants to do the low flyover.
The guy that wanted to do the low flyer
So-
was the Russian spy.
Yeah,
Yeah, where's he?
Not here anymore.
dude, he's like in underground, 10 miles somewhere, being questioned.
He's
right now.
getting he's getting.
They found out he was a Russian spy that did a. Dude, shut up.
We're really shooting this one right now
You
because I did all of it too. I did all of that.
just think about it. They found out this dude was a Russian spy, like our rival, that flew over one of the most
I understand.
most
that.
average nuclear bases in all
What
of the
did they-
United States.
Let's not sugarcoat it here.
Yeah.
We got power up here. in
We
North
got the
Dakota.
dog in us up here.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying, Broden, is when he said, "Hey, let's do a low flyover," did they immediately go, "He's a Russian spy,
No,
get in the back of this car"?
No, they said like, yeah, we can do that. He said, yeah, that's cool. And then so I think they took him out on the flight, and while they were on the flight, they're like, hey, run a check on this guy. And sure as God wear sandals, they pinned him.
Well, I
Did
think
God
like,
wear
it's just
sandals?
precautionary measures. Like
wasn't
somebody wants to do a low fly over the base, like let's maybe take a look.
And they let him? Can I do a low fly over the base if I could operate a plane?
They let him in accordance with the fact that they were running a backroom check,
And then-
background check.
and then locked him up when he landed.
Yeah, because they found out, oh wow, this guy just came here from Russia.
This guy's not great. Did he look Russian? Well, I would have known if I was your journeyman. I would have been like, "What's your name?" And if he was like,
No, I think
Well, it
so
wasn't with.
he said
just told me
Igor-
the story.
if he said
let me get this
Igor,
straight. Your journeyman, the guy who was getting his license, was the one who originally asked to do the flyover.
No, the journeyman was the guy
The
flying the
journeyman
plane.
told me the story. No, my journeyman was not flying the plane. The
Oh,
Russian guy
fucking boring.
asked their instructor, "How is that any
I
less
thought
boring
you're
than what
journeyman. I
just
thought
told
you knew this guy.
You didn't even say there was an instructor. The way you
Yes,
told the
I
sto-
did.
No, the way you told the story, it sounded like there was 2 guys in the plane. Your journeyman and the fucking
Yes.
communist.
Yes,
No, because my journeyman didn't have his license yet.
No,
I
I thought there was 2 people. I thought the Russian asked the person flying, like, "Hey, let's do this."
Yes.
You told the story. I almost fell asleep in the first half of the story, so that was probably the
Not gonna
problem.
lie.
I wasn't really following it because you were milking this Coors Light. But
You
the
were-
Russian was flying by himself.
No, you can't.
That's crazy.
Not
Who
without
the
your
fuck is-
pilot's license.
who the fuck
You're-
is
Why
flying
would
the
he
Russian?
ask to do a flow fly over
Who the fuck's flying what plane?
Yeah. How many people are in the plane? Give us
two? There's the instructor who is legally allowed to fly the plane, and the person that's flying the plane.
So your journeyman knew the instructor.
Yes, because he's getting
Thank
his
you.
pilot's
Your journeyman
license.
wasn't
Thank
on the plane.
you. Thank you.
No.
Oh,
He
okay.
told me the
See, yeah,
story.
the way
He
you
butchered
explained
it.
it
I
sounded
don't
like
think
your-
so.
Your journeyman was flying with the spy.
I think anyone listening to this was following along just fine.
We'll find out.
If they're not, leave
Comment.
a comment.
yeah,
and
yeah.
make,
I would love to.
throw
have
pie,
you guys
throw pie
rip
in my
Liam.
face. That's fine because I want to know.
Boy, is the pie in my face.
All right, let's go into the JFK assassination.
We
This
went
happened
there.
in 19 yeah, so we went to just this last New Year's. We were in Dallas and we went to Dealey Plaza, and the book depository kind of stood exactly where Lee Harvey Oswald was playing real life Call of Duty.
Like 10 feet.
Liam's trying to get back at us and say my story's
I
boring.
hate
We're
this.
talking about an assassin. You're
10
talking
feet
about a
and-
fake Russian that you made that
It
story
was
up
real.
on the fly. You made that up.
10 feet and 60 years later.
Yeah, and we were standing in the window of where he shot from. Well, the window next to it, because they have that like glass box around where he actually shot.
Like exactly how it was the day.
Yeah, and it's like pretty short, is it not? Or did we say it was far? I can't remember.
No, I think it's a lot closer than you actually thought it would be.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like when I went there. Like I was looking out the window next to it. I was like,
You could have thrown a rock at him and hit him
easy.
in the head.
Yeah.
Like that's how
Like,
close it is.
It's
You thought it was like road here, building like off in the distance. No,
And-
he's like shooting almost like straight down into his head.
Yeah.
And he had that goofy bullet.
Huh?
Lee Harvey had that magic bullet. You know how everyone says there was a magic bullet that kind of like went through him and then through his chest and through the other guy.
Well, because what did they say? There was 3 shots because there's 3 X's on the road on Dealey Plaza.
Is there? I thought there was only one.
No, there's one big one where JFK
Yeah.
got
Okay,
the
yeah,
one
yeah,
in
yeah.
the noggin, but then there's like 2 more where the 2 other shots were fired, which hit the governor because the governor of Texas rode with him, got hit like in the throat or something like that, or like in the
Shoulder.
back of the neck,
Back
there you
shoulder, I
go.
think.
And then the second one went through him and hit JFK and
Yeah.
just turned him into ramen noodles.
Oh, his head was scramble squad. But yeah, so like when we went there, it's a really cool museum. If you guys are ever in Dallas, that's like the one thing I'll recommend is to go to that museum because that was my favorite part of our whole trip, going through the book depository.
Yeah.
And
Dealey
mainly-
Plaza. And you could walk right across there, take pictures.
Yeah, literally, you
It's
go stand
awesome.
deep. It's so weird because I have a picture of standing on the axis where he got shot, and I just took a picture of my feet standing over it. And it's almost surreal thinking JFK got shot literally exactly where I'm standing. And like people just cars drive over it all day. Just
Yeah,
a
you got to
white
dodge
X with-
traffic.
just a white X of tape on the road.
Tape or paint, whatever it is.
It's not even paint. It's just like rubber.
Yeah, we'll put up a picture of it.
Yeah, I got from our trip. We'll throw it up, but
pictures
because
from the window and everything. Yeah.
Yep. And it's crazy, dude, how close it like I literally like he could have done a spitball.
Like we said, it's
Are we talking
so much closer than you think it actually was.
within
where-
100 yards?
Yes, easy.
Oh, shorter than 100 yards.
It's a chip shot. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'll show you the
Well, I'm
picture
just
after
saying,
the
like,
pod, but
he's
it's like
doing-
it's
it's
so
like-
close.
JFK, he's doing like a parade, so it's not like he's cruising through there at highway speeds. He's going like 10, 15 miles an hour.
Like you probably could have hit him. You hunt.
Yeah,
It's enough where you could have bopped him. If you
Yeah.
can hit a moving target.
I bet.
If I was running across my front yard right now, or my neighbor's front yard,
Not
you can
even
hit me
running.
from my window.
Yeah,
Yeah, with ease.
Yeah. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty surreal to be there. It's actually, I didn't love that when we were there was garbage all over the actual like Dealey Plaza, the little thing they got
Wasn't
there.
well kept.
No, it wasn't. There was McDonald's bags, and like I'm like, this seems to be like it should be like a national, not a national monument, because it's not like the Lincoln Memorial or the Washington Memorial, but it's like it's a pretty big piece of history of the United States, and it's just like
The first
garbage everywhere.
president to ever get shot and killed from it.
Yeah, it's almost weird. It almost felt like I was in a movie when I was standing there.
Well, and then like the whole museum itself.
Museum's cool. They got like
Oh my goodness.
there's a diagram like the size of this table that like shows in miniature, like they have strings coming from the window down to like the car, and they like show everything. It's pretty sweet. I'll show you all the pictures after this.
Yeah. And
It's cool.
all
that,
the different films that were.
the Zapruder film. So that's one thing I want to
That's
get
the
into.
most famous one.
They had the camera there, or a replica of the camera.
No,
that he
the
shot
actual.
with.
It was the actual camera.
Was it the real one?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Zapruder film was it was pretty much the one video, the most famous video of the actual assassination. Are you familiar with the Zapruder film?
No.
So the Zapruder film was a man named Abraham Zapruder that was shooting on an 8mm camera, and it was like 486 frames. And on frame 313 is actually when
The bullet hit his head.
When JFK's head is, maybe it was 312. It hit him, and then 313 is his head snapping back.
Right.
But the Zapruder film, that's pretty much all the conspiracy theories, everything that you see, they judge it based on that one film.
It's like the cleanest and most.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
like,
this says the Zapruder film, and I actually bought a book there for my dad because someone asked me the other day if my dad had read a book, and I said the only book my dad's ever read is anything to do with JFK and his assassination. He's
a history teacher.
Yeah, he's fascinated with it. So the Zapruder film is a
Right?
silent 8mm color motion picture sequence shot by Abraham Zapruder with a Bell and Howell home movie camera as United States President John F. Kennedy's motorcade passed through Dealey Plaza in Texas. The film captures the moment of the president's assassination. It's been called the most important 26 seconds of film in history. 26 seconds, 486 frames, I think it is. What is not well known, however, is that a single frame of it was kept largely secret from the public view for 12 years after the assassination. So frame 313, they didn't release it. They wouldn't show the public because Zapruder said he would have nightmares about that frame. Like, didn't want anyone to see it, didn't want the public to see it, nothing. So he, this here says frame 313, the frame that gave Abraham Zapruder nightmares, the frame he insisted be withheld from the public. Zapruder made clear frame 313 gave him nightmares, and he didn't want to be the one to inflict them on the rest of America. He sold the film to Life magazine for $150,000 in 1963. So I don't know what that is in today's money.
Nathan, we want to look that up.
$150K in 1963. So sold it for, and Life magazine kept frame 313 out of it. They then sold the film back to the Zapruder family for $1 in 1978. Zapruders allowed the film to be stored at the National Archives. That's crazy. The National Archives and Records Administration, where it remains.
What do you got?
$150K.
Something like 1.5 million.
1.5 million he sold it for in today's money.
That
which is
seems
pretty
about
crazy.
legit. But
So, like, have you ever seen it? You've definitely seen it.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point, yeah.
The one video of the
if you-
assassination
yeah,
scene,
if you-
that's the
if-
film.
Yeah. If you saw it, you'd recognize it.
It fascinates me, man. Like, I don't know why I'm so fascinated with this 26 second.
I think it's because all the and this is probably for a different episode, but like all the different conspiracies that go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got those actually on here.
Which
We
is
can talk about
another
next.
cool thing about the museum is that they don't
They explain
just-
all of them.
They don't go just into what's known as facts. They go into what everybody thinks about the assassination.
Yeah. You'd think you'd go there and they'd be like, okay, here's the facts. Lee Harvey Oswald killed him. Lee Harvey Oswald was then killed by Jack Ruby and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No, they have a section for every single one. They're
There's
like,
like a-
okay, the CIA. And then it explains the conspiracy of the CIA.
Yeah.
Then it goes into the dog man theory. Then it goes into the umbrella man. It's pretty sweet, actually.
It'll blow your mind. That museum will. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So let's get into some conspiracy theories then. So the first one, like I just mentioned, the CIA was involved. This one I think is one of the more popular ones. Everyone remembered what they were doing at that moment, but what exactly was the CIA doing? Dave Perry, a former insurance claims adjuster who has begun digging through JFK assassination records since 1976, pointed out that the CIA may have had Oswald on the payroll or overheard Oswald plotting with the Soviets at their Russian embassy in Mexico. So they think that, I don't know the exact story, but they think that the CIA purposely hired Oswald to kill JFK, and then they had Jack Ruby kill Oswald, so it was a full cover-up. Because Jack Ruby killed, do you know this, that Jack Ruby killed the guy that killed JFK? They were transporting him through a basement. He was in handcuffs, and they were transporting him to jail or whatever. And this Jack Ruby, I can't remember what he was. I want to say he was like an actor, a movie star or something. He came up, shot Lee Harvey Oswald when he was in custody of the police, and killed him.
Basically
like,
cover
hey,
up loose ends.
Yeah.
That's what people think.
It's basically like, hey, you can't talk to him, you can't interview him, nothing, because I just killed him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me, because that leaves just so many doors open, and we'll never know the answer.
And I think that makes it more believable.
Yeah.
Is the fact that he was killed.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald because there's a photo, and this has been debunked, but I like to think it's real because I like to believe everything, you know? And they judge based on, there's a picture of Lee Harvey Oswald in the backyard with the rifle that he killed him with. And
It's
people
photoshopped.
people say it's photoshopped. And they go over it, and like obviously they've debunked it and everything, saying the shadows are weird and all that kind of stuff. But it's cool too.
Well, and then they try to tie him to Russia.
Yeah.
Like you said. And so it makes it that much more believable.
and
that
they
he would
think
kill
he's
him.
a Soviet agent and all that stuff.
They could sleep.
Because
Yeah.
6 days before he killed him, he was in Russia. But I didn't really get into that one very much. Second conspiracy theory, the Black Dog Man theory. The Black Dog Man figure can be seen in a pyracantha bush in frame 413 of the Zapruder film. So after he was killed, they pan over, and in the bush, there's a guy, and they call him the Black Dog Man. And they think that that's actually the guy that killed him, not Lee Harvey Oswald from the book depository.
Right.
But this has been debunked, saying the guy's actually in front of the bush. He's not behind the bush. You're reading the film wrong. And Bill Miller, right here, it says, Bill Miller argues that the man is actually the groundskeeper, Emmett Hudson. No one's ruled out the black doggy yet, though. So they say that's a groundskeeper of Dealey Plaza. It's like,
I mean, it all like depends. Like, do you like,
because some people say they shot from the grassy knoll.
right, the grassy knoll? It like, who's feeding people this information?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want? If you believe the official information that the government puts out,
Yeah. Then it's like, whatever, this is all stupid. But if you're doing your own digging, then it's like, there's some weird stuff going on
right?
here.
Because you look at it,
Here.
you look at it, and you say, of course they would say that happened.
Yeah.
You know
All
what
right.
I mean?
Yeah.
Liam's got some questions. I think this is what we're the most knowledgeable on in the
Yeah.
7 episodes of the show.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like,
No, yeah,
there's some
that's why-
questions
yeah.
here. That's where it's like,
Oh, I got you.
I mean,
oh,
if-
so you don't actually have questions.
no, not actually, but like, that's
Mhm.
that's the coin flip. There is it. Are you gonna just believe what the government feeds you and tells you, or is there something bigger going on?
Yeah.
because
I like to
that-
always think there's something bigger.
There is always something bigger,
And I didn't
we're
really
just peons.
realize that until like the last 2-3 years, which we're not going to get into politics and all that kind of
No.
crazy deep state stuff. But
No.
ever since I've like been getting older, I'm like,
Something
the world
more.
is messed up, man.
Oh yeah,
It's crazy.
absolutely.
The more
And
you
that's the
think about shit, the
Yeah,
more
it's like there's always something. A plan
like the
behind
more
something.
Oh, yeah.
crazy things seem like they're
It's
more
like
realistic.
That, I was like, that could be a cover up.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's a conspiracy that I really just, I've never heard of this one before, but Woody Harrelson's dad was supposedly involved. The man on the grassy knoll claims Harrelson Sr. was one of 2 gunmen and that he was later arrested dressed as a tramp in Dealey Plaza. And then I think they released him. But
Jeez.
Woody Harrelson's dad, that'd be wild.
Good actor.
I don't know how that was like
A
number
very
that was
good
like number
actor.
8 or 9 on the list. Woody Harrelson, his dad,
But
probably.
yeah, I mean,
good shooter.
You see
apparently.
Woody Harrelson, you're gonna bring that
Yeah.
up.
That's the thing, though. I mean, now that you bring up good shooter, I mean, they couldn't have just brought in some. I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of tailing down some kind of conspiracy stuff, but this is not some random.
We're gonna
We'll
have
do an episode on
yes.
conspiracies.
We got There's we could
multiple
get this.
episodes probably.
And then the last one is Umbrella Man. So a lot of people say there was the Umbrella Man did it, and the Umbrella Man was a man standing under a black umbrella, plain as day, standing there, and it was a sunny day out, and he was just standing there under a black umbrella.
It's like they say, hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, but a lot of people say that this
black umbrella.
was. It's like,
Well, I mean, the
Yeah,
sun's
making
out.
yourself, making yourself a little obvious.
but a lot of people say that this was a protest for some political thing that he didn't like about JFK, so he was going to stand under a black umbrella, but I haven't seen the actual frame of what it looks like, but I like to think these are kind of cool. Like if the man had a gun inside of his umbrella, that'd be kind of cool.
And that's like we said, that's the best part about the museum is it shows you all these different viewpoints.
Yeah. And it's like, believe what you want. Last thing I'll say about the JFK assassination, then we'll move into some quick facts and then we'll wrap this up, is Clint Ramashaw, I think, is that his name? Is that the guy from Minot that was on the motorcade behind?
Oh, the Secret Service agent.
I don't. Maybe
it's
it
Clint
wasn't
something.
Clint.
It's Clint something.
Romache. There's a Clint Roma something from Minot. I don't know if that was the guy, but you should see, Nathan, if you could find a Clint that was on the back motorcade. He was on the motorcade behind JFK, and you can see he was the one that after he got shot ran off the motorcade and ran up to the back of and he's from Minot.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. That's where we're from for you people listening that are not from Minot.
Another little thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
If it's not in there, is like, yeah, he ran up there to try and protect Jackie Kennedy, his wife. And he said that she was trying to pick up the brains, literally, of JFK. Yeah. Trying to salvage them so they could have them for him and try to keep him alive.
Oh, and the last thing that I was going to say about this is JFK's last words. So, Mr. President, you can't say Dallas doesn't love you. And he said, nope, you certainly can't. Next thing later, he is dead. It's like, oh, yeah, one guy in Dallas didn't really like you that much.
Was it Dallas? Was it the CIA?
Who knows?
The world may never know. It's just like, how many licks does it take to get to the center?
There was also,
if we never make a podcast after this, you guys know why.
There was also a 14-year-old boy reported watching JFK's face go blank around 12:30 p.m. He was assassinated at 12:30. So, he's like, yeah, obviously his face going blank. He just had a bullet go in the back of his brain.
Yeah. What would you do?
You got the info on Clint, whatever.
What did you want to know about him?
What's his name?
His name is Clint Hill.
Clint Hill, that's what it is.
Where's he from?
Larimore, North Dakota.
There it is.
Okay, not Minot. Larimore, whatever.
Everything's close here.
Close enough.
It's not that far.
All right, yeah. So Clint Hill. All right, a couple more things. USSR tests hydrogen bombs in 1960. Oh, that was 1953.
If you can't put two and two together, that's nuclear bombs.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that because that's 1953. So my research led me astray. We'll talk about that in the 50s episode. Birth control was born. FDA approved the sale of Inovid for use of oral contraceptive. Pill, along with others in the early years, had very high doses of hormones. 1988, they discontinued the drug because it became linked to thrombosis and other health problems.
What's thrombosis?
I think it means you play the drums. You just have the urge.
What's thrombosis?
I thought it was
Please look
the
that
trombone. No,
You have the urge to play the trombone all the time.
what's what?
Thrombosis. Short-lived. Side effects like dizziness and vomiting. Risky increase in heart attacks and strokes. So, yeah. Birth control, though, that's when it happened in the 60s.
Imagine that. Birth control and Woodstock all in the same decade.
They probably needed that. You got the info on it?
If only it was a few years soon.
Thrombosis occurs when blood clots block veins or arteries.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
So blood clots. Yeah, not
It's
good.
definitely nothing to do with.
So you're like, I don't.
Instruments.
You're like, I don't want a child. You're like, blood clots. Pick your poison. It's kind of like a serial killer or serial rapist. What do you really want to be around in prison? First Super Bowl, 1967.
Packers. The Packers were in it.
Yep, it was the Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs, and the Packers won 35-10. I think Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre were still on the team at that point.
Liam has no idea what we're talking about. He has nothing in his brain.
I didn't realize
considering sports.
I didn't realize the Super Bowl started that late. Like 1967. They're
there was
playing
like
in the
there was like
1900s.
there was like an NFL championship, and then there was like an AFL championship, and then the leagues merged. You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's what it says.
Yeah.
They called it the AFL NFL World Championship. That was the first one. And then the name Super Bowl came from the third one, actually. And it was Lamar Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs owner. According to legend, his daughter played with a toy called the Super Ball, and it stuck in his head when the league was looking for a less cumbersome name for the event. Because the AFL NFL
Super Bowl?
Championship. Yeah, so he's like Super Bowl. So it was adopted in 1969 Super Bowl III.
1969. Yep. What a great year. Trap that year in a bottle. Huh?
Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965 by a man named Thomas Hagen. He was a former member of the Nation of Islam and one of the assassins who killed Malcolm X. So I don't know if there's multiple.
So was it Malcolm X? I'm pretty sure he was Islamic, right? And then he got assassinated by another.
No, he's Muslim.
That's Islam.
Okay, then yes. Yep.
That's
African American Muslim minister and human rights activist who was a prominent figure during the civil rights movement. Hagen stated in 1977 affidavit that he had planned the shooting with 4 others to seek revenge for Malcolm X's public criticism of Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. So Malcolm X must have been Islam, and then he just talking some stuff about Islam. Kind of like how you just don't talk about the church back then, the Catholic Church.
Right. He was stepping out.
Yeah.
He was stepping out saying some shit that.
And he said a couple things, and then they're like, we're going to pop you. His real name was Malcolm Little. Malcolm X is much more badass than Malcolm Little.
Malcolm X may be one of the most badass names of all time besides like fucking Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I don't know how you can lead a revolution with the name Malcolm Little.
No. If Little's in your name and you're trying to lead anything, sit down.
Yeah.
Probably not going to happen.
Then that's why he did that. He's like, oh, no, Malcolm X.
Yeah, but that's the 1960s. That's all we got for the 1960s. A lot of good topics there. We could have went in depth a lot more. I know I had the Bay of Pigs invasions on here, but we'll skip that. Talk about that another time for our war episode or something. But 1960s episode 7 is a wrap. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Share this somewhere. Post it on your story. Comment. Post it on your story. I think people see stories a lot. Instagram story.
Yeah.
But share it. Leave a comment. We'll hopefully read it on episode 8 next week. Leave a rating, leave a review on Spotify and Apple. That really helps with getting the podcast out there, and we appreciate you guys listening. But as for now, 1960s, episode 7.
That's it.